Lebanon, the Bekaa Valley, the very heartland of Shiite terrorist activity. Batman and Robin are there on a mission, a very personal mission. They follow a sentry to the extremists' hideout. The sentry is going to help them reach their goal, and he's just the right size. One of Batman's drug-tipped darts will do the job nicely. It'll put the man out for at least 6 hours. This is tricky business Batman and Robin have gotten themselves involved in, dealing with cold-blooded terrorists. Each move must be carefully planned and executed. Death is only a moment's carelessness away. Honestly, Batman wishes he could have handled this job without Jason tagging along. But he's the reason Batman's there. Batman's hope is that this mission will quiet the angry fires that burn within the boy. Jason started getting out of line back in Gotham, taking reckless chances. Bruce quickly realized the problem was that he'd not yet adjusted to the death of his parents. That's why Bruce decided to put Jason on inactive duty temporarily. He wanted to give the boy time to come to grips with his grief. Of course, Jason didn't see it that way. While wandering around town, trying to work off his anger at the perceived rejection, Jason ran into Mrs. Walker, a friend of his parents. She gave him a box containing some of his family's personal papers. The box contained a bombshell, his birth certificate. That's when Jason discovered his mother wasn't Catherine Todd. The unreadable name listed under mother started with an S. From his father's address book, Jason found 3 women whose first names started with an S. He used the Batcave computer to locate them. There was Charmaine Rose, who'd immigrated and became an Israeli secret agent. Reports had it that Shiva Wusan is a freelance mercenary, currently operating in Beirut. Dr. Sheila Hayward was found in Ethiopia, working on a famine relief project. Jason ran away from home to discover which of these women is his real mother. Bruce stumbled upon Jason's quest while tracking the Joker to Lebanon. That madman had planned to sell a cruise missile to a group of terrorists. Batman and Robin managed to spoil the Joker's nuclear fire sale and save Charmaine Rosen's life in the bargain. But it didn't work out like the heroes hoped. The Joker escaped. Bruce decided it'd be best if he stuck around to help Jason in his search, especially seeing as how the next lady on his list was the mercenary Shiva Wusan. To save time, Bruce called his CIA contact, Ralph Bundy. Within hours, he was able to tell them where Shiva Wusan could be found. Imagine Bruce's delight finding that Ms. Wusan was staying at his favorite Beirut dive, the Hotel Blue. But when Bruce and Jason asked for Miss Wusan at the reception desk, the man attending explains to them that Ms. Wusan was indeed staying at the hotel. But one day, when she was standing right outside the front door, all of a sudden, this car pulled up. Then, 4 men with machine guns jumped out and kidnapped the woman. Unfortunately, such things are not uncommon in Beirut. Jason was left deflated by the news, but Bruce assured the boy he knew just where to look. When he was tracking down the Joker, he discovered Beirut's criminal element was just as eager to talk to his Batman persona as their Gotham counterparts always are. The trick is in the way you couch the questions you unanswered. With a little coercion, Batman learned that he could find the person he was looking for at the Bashar Pass in the Bekaa Valley. And that is how they came to be here, attempting to rescue Shiva Wusan from her radical Shiite captors. The two heroes take down a couple of the walking sentries, steal their garbs, and wear them as disguises to infiltrate the camp. Elsewhere, a weaselly-looking man drives a green Jeep up to a famine relief camp just outside Mignola, Ethiopia. The man smiles as he pulls up to the guard on duty and informs the guard that he is looking for a Dr. Sheila Haywood. The guard nods back and points to a nearby tent where the doctor can be found. The man enters the tent and calls out the doctor's name, telling her that she's certainly come a long way since Gotham. It seems the doctor is no longer performing illegal operations on teenage girls, the man sneers. In response, Dr. Haywood turns around in her seat and gasps at the sight of the man, instantly recognizing him as the Joker. The doctor then demands to know what the Joker is doing in Ethiopia, of all places. The madman responds that he's just looking up an old friend who's made something worthwhile of her life. Sheila here is currently in charge of the distribution of all medical supplies in the region. The Joker can only assume the doctor's superiors don't know much about her past. It would be a shame if her new life she started came to a disgraceful end, if certain past indiscretions came to light. The doctor lowers her head as she realizes she is being blackmailed. The Joker apologizes. Times have been tough lately. Sadly, he's just another victim of Reaganomics. But half a dozen truckloads of medical supplies will get him back on his feet. He already has black market customers lined up. This is a world that runs on money. To stay in the game, the Joker needs oodles of cash. And the doctor is going to help him get that cash. If she doesn't, the Joker will pull the plug on the good thing she's got here in Ethiopia. Batman counts 20 men in the camp, all armed to the teeth. Him and Robin have got to take them all out before anyone realizes there's an enemy amidst their numbers. It's going to take every ounce of stealth the heroes possess to pull this off without being discovered. Part of Batman is bothered by how smoothly this is all going. He doesn't like it when it gets too easy. It makes him nervous. waiting for the other shoe to drop. Heroes make their way into a weapons stash and find that the Shiite extremists have enough explosives stored to level a major city. They decide that they'll have to deal with the weapons on the way out of the camp. One by one, Batman and Robin dispatch the extremists using non-lethal force and tranquilizer darts. They leave one standing so that he can disclose the whereabouts of Shiva Wusan. The man points to a nearby tent, and Batman thanks him by knocking him out with the butt of a gun. Batman is still concerned about the ease of this operation. The heroes then discard their disguises and rush their target. When they arrive, the tent's empty, just as Batman half expected. Shiva must be around there, somewhere, Batman muses. He knew taking the camp went too easy. These weren't seasoned veterans they faced. Real pros wouldn't have allowed themselves to be caught so flat-footed. It's possible that what they've stumbled on is a terrorist training camp. And Batman's got a pretty good idea who the head instructor around there is. Suddenly, Batman is interrupted mid-sentence by a thunk. Batman spins on his heel just in time to see Robin's body collapse to the floor. That's when Batman hears a familiar voice. It is a wise man who refuses to allow his ego the ability to blind him to the truth. Lady Shiva, Batman answers. We meet again. You seem to have weathered your captivity well. The mercenary stands there, smirking as she spins her nunchaku. Please, spare me your sarcasm, Batman, she hisses. You've already figured out that I was hired to train this mob of malcontents. You didn't do much of a job of it, Batman shoots back. I've only been at it for 3 days. Give a lady a chance. But I suppose I should thank you for assisting me in this endeavor. Your clandestine assault clearly defined the areas I need to work on with this group. Lady Shiva explains she was hiding, lying in wait, and it was very informative. Batman wasn't killing her pupils off, so she saw no reason to interfere. Until now. Batman explains that he and Robin didn't come to Beirut looking for a scrap. He and Robin just want to ask a question or two. I don't care about the whys of your visit, the woman hisses. The fact that you are here is enough for me. When last we met, I was not able to put your prowess to a proper test. A chance to test one's skills against such talents is indeed rare. I can't let an opportunity as golden as this pass by. Not again, Batman thinks. It's a lot like being a gunfighter in the Old West. When you're the best, every jerk and his sister wants a crack at your title. But Lady Shiva is better than good. Batman doesn't even see some of the hits coming. Shiva's easily got the hitting power of Ra's al Ghul and the speed and agility of the Sensei. Batman realizes he's got a real fight on his hands. If he doesn't start taking this lady seriously, Batman could end up dead. For a moment, Batman believes getting rid of the distracting nunchakus should help. It doesn't. Lady Shiva follows up with an elbow to his nose and a roundhouse kick across the face. Batman is able to block her follow-up attack and punch her hard enough to create some distance, believing that the hit should be enough to take the wind out of the woman's sails. However, she easily recovers from the attack and springs to her feet, proving the mercenary can take it as well as she can dish it out. As hard to believe as it seems, this Shiva Wusan appears to be Batman's equal in the martial arts. His only hope is to come in close and see if he can out-muscle her. It's going to be a real workout. Meanwhile, Robin groans himself awake, only to find Batman and Lady Shiva fighting in the center of the camp. He sprints forward in an attempt to end it, but wonders, who should he help? Bruce, the man who took him off the streets and gave him a home? Or Shiva, the woman who might be his mother? The boy attacks Shiva. Batman sees what the boy's up to and turns on the pressure to keep Shiva from sensing his approach. He then takes full advantage of the situation and hits Shiva with everything he's got. Batman's amazed when Shiva doesn't go under from the punishment he deals her. From somewhere deep within, she draws the strength to make a last-ditch effort at regaining the offensive. It's not enough. Batman ends it as quick and mercifully as he can. After Shiva is finally knocked out, Batman instructs Robin to cuff her and to be ready to take off as soon as he gets back. Batman decides that he is going to take a moment to introduce the concept of the 4th of July to their playmates. Batman tosses all the Shiites into a ditch before setting the time-delayed charge on the ammo storage hut. The Scorpions will awaken, alive, with only their stingers pulled. Once the heroes are about 2 miles from the camp, Batman decides it's time to interrogate Ms. Wusan. Time to answer a few questions, lady, Batman growls. And if I choose not to answer them? You've no choice in this matter, Shiva. I always have a choice, the mercenary answers smugly. Not this time, Batman spits. Have you ever had a baby? Lady Shiva's jaw drops. A baby? She asks, astounded at the question. Then, she begins to chuckle. Certainly, she tells Batman. I've had dozens of babies. I've dropped litters in every corner of the globe. Batman and Robin look at each other, worried. Knowing who they'd be dealing with, Batman foresaw facing a certain lack of cooperation. So, he brought along a solution to the problem. Every fiber of Batman's being is revolted by the thought of what he's about to do. It won't stop him, though. He digs in his belt and pulls out a syringe before announcing the liquid it contains is sodium pentothal, the truth serum. That's the biggest trouble with this line of work. You can't always get the job done and remain a hero in your own eyes. Once Batman injects the mercenary with the syringe, he re-asks his question. Shiva, did you ever have any children? The mercenary slowly begins to lose consciousness. But before she falls asleep completely, she answers that she is not a mother. She has no children to speak of. Batman and Robin stick around until the effects of the drug wears off. Fortunately for Shiva, training terrorists is not against the law in this country. Technically, she's done nothing wrong. But that doesn't mean Batman is going to help her. He decides to leave her where she is, tied up on the ground. With her abilities, Shiva will have herself free and be on her way back to civilization within the hour. Batman and Robin will be halfway to Beirut by then. One go-around with Shiva was plenty for the Crusader for today. As the two leave, Batman sighs out and asks Jason, "Too bad. Would she have been the type of mother you'd want to have?" "Course not," the boy responds. "Still, it's kind of a disappointment." "Sounds to me like Sheila Haywood would make a much better candidate," Batman says confidently. His tone brings a smile to the boy's face. "Yeah," Robin says, now raising his head. "So let's get our tails in gear, man. Ethiopia, here we come."